Ola bass. Overall build quality, not bad. We got like a metal outside, plastic inside. You can see the driver in there. I always like when I can see the driver. It's kind of cool. Yeah, comfort, really nice. These are quite small, fit in the ears really well. Yeah, really good fit, nice comfort. The ear hooks are comfortable. I have no complaints there. We have controls as well as a microphone. This is the microphone from the Ola Bass. Is the microphone bassy? Maybe. Bass. Bass. No cinch, and yeah, straight termination. So I dig that. No, I don't really have a whole lot of problems here. I guess the cable is whatever, but hey, it has a microphone. That's cool. I always like when there's a microphone. How do these things sound? So I know the IEM has bass in the name. These aren't overly bass heavy. I'm interested to know what like the regular Ola sounds like, because if this is the bass version, this isn't this is to me like a neutral style bass. Like it's not like a ton of bass. But they sound fine. These are a totally fine option. And that's kind of where we're at with this hobby. It seems like every IEM I get these days is like totally fine. There's like the tuning's good. Yeah, like there's some pros and cons to each IEM, but like it's kind of where we're at. It's kind of where we're at. Everything's kind of tuned similarly. So yeah, bass, it's solid. Yeah, it's not a ton, but it's there. The mids, nice glide into the mids. No problems there. Upper mids, pinch forward for me, but everything's a pinch forward for me. I'm just sensitive to the upper mids and treble. Is what it is. To most people, this is going to sound great. It kind of falls off nicely into the treble, and it doesn't peak too hard. So the treble is relatively okay. Totally fine option. It's another totally fine option. And yeah, again, that's just kind of where we're at with this hobby. Everything sounds good in the budget realm. Like every IEM I've been getting lately, it's just been like, yeah, it sounds all right. It sounds fine. I can see why people would buy this, you know? That's where I am with this. It's like, yeah, it sounds fine. Sounds totally fine. I can see why people would buy this. Compare it to a couple other IEMs that, you know, in the budget realm. Personally, my favorite is the Truthier Ola for like that budget area. It's so dang good for the price. You get like the pouch with it. Good selection of tips. Like, I like the Ola quite a bit. It's a little bit less forward in that upper mids area. The bass is nice. Like, the Ola's solid. I like the Ola. This to me sounds very similar to the Tin Hi-Fi C2. Yeah, it's kind of like that style of tuning to me, but this is easier to listen to me than the C2. The treble's a little less intense. Compared to the Warner's a little bit. It has an earlier ear gain. This has a slightly later ear gain than the Warner, so very different sounds. It's hard to choose. That's really just a preference thing. Sometimes I like that early ear gain. Sometimes I like later ear gain. It depends what I'm into that day. So yeah, and then like yeah, it's overall it sounds totally fine. The tracks that I tested with, Bomb Track, Rage Against the Machines. So upper mids, it's a little bit too much for me personally. I just like a little bit less. I like the QKZ HBB and I like the Ola. Those to me are the Truthier Ola. Those to me are like very much my type of tuning. But I can see why people would like this. Everybody's hearing is different, right? So some people want more of that upper mid presence. If that's you, this is a better option than both the Truthier Ola and QKZ HBB. So there's that. Lecrae, good lord. It was fine. Yeah, not a lot of problems there. Andy Mineo, been about it. Totally fine. Didn't have any issues there. Audio Slave, a little bit intense for me. So yeah, didn't really like Chris Cornell's vocals on this, but I could see other people having no problems. It very much depends on your preferences. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Great little track. Honestly, the theme song to that, good show. You should, awesome show. But the theme song, love it. Sounded good. This, because of the mid treble presence and how this does the upper mids, mid treble kind of thing that it does, that nice, like, it's a nice transition. Those like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the beginning, those percussion, like the percussion and stuff in that song. It sounds good. It sounds good. I like it for stuff like that. Lady Antebellum. Female vocals sound awesome. This does female vocals quite well. So yeah, I can totally see why people would buy this. It's a good option. There's a lot of good options today in today's market. Would I recommend this? Personally, this is not something that I would listen to daily, just because I am a little sensitive to that upper mids presence. I prefer a little bit less, but most people aren't. Most people like more upper mids than I do. So I think most people would like this. I think it's totally fine. Just be aware that though there's bass in the name of this IEM, bass. It's not overly bassy. And this is coming from a bass head. I am a bass head. I like a lot of low end. I love my low end. This to me was not like a bass set. This came off as pretty neutral. So yeah, there's that. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.